Welcome to the lecture series on C and C++ programming under EPG Pathshala. Today we will start with module Introduction to Object Oriented Methodology. Software design field is very dynamic. Due to this dynamic and competitive nature of software design and technology, the development of software has become very critical. During last decades, the software technology has gone through many phases. The most popular phase of software technology is procedure oriented programming. Procedure oriented programming is top down programming approach, but it has faced many challenges such as how to represent real life entities in procedure oriented programming. The software should have open interface, how to guarantee the reusability and extensibility of the modules. Because of these drawbacks, the new technology has been evolved, that is object oriented technology. Again, in software technology, it has been observed that only 2% products of the software has been delivered and used, and it was a major drawback for the software industry. So, the changes in the procedure oriented programming has given rise to the new design which is called as object oriented programming. Now, let us start with this particular module of Introduction to Object Oriented Methodology. Suppose we want to assemble our own PC. We go to the hardware store and pick up a motherboard, processor, some RAMs, a hard disk, a casing, a power supply and put them together. We turn on the power and the PC runs. We need not worry whether the motherboard is a 4 layer, 6 layer, whether the hard disk is 4 or 6 plates, 3 inches or 5 inches in diameter, whether the RAM is made up in Japan, Korea and so on. We simply put the hardware components together and expect the machine to run. You have to make sure that you have the correct interfaces. So, it is not difficult to set up a machine from hardware components. Similarly, a car is assembled from parts and components such as chassis, doors, engine, wheels, brake and transmission. The components are reusable. Example, a wheel can be used in many cars. Hardware such as computers and cars are assembled from parts which are reusable components. Can we use the same technology in software? Can we assemble the software? The answer is obviously no, but we can have some mechanism which is basically given in software technology which can have the usable software components. The main reason why software development has evolved is in early 1970s, the US Department of Defense commissioned a task to investigate why its budget are always went out of control. But without much to show, the findings were 1. 80% of the budget went to the software, while the remaining 20% to the hardware. More than 80% of the software budget went to maintenance, only the remaining 20% for the new software development. Hardware components could be applied to various products and their integrity normally did not affect the products. Hardware can share and reuse, hardware faults are isolated. 4. Software procedures were often non-shareable and non-reusable. Software faults could affect other programs running in computers. Computer scientists have struggled for decades to design new languages and techniques for writing software. Unfortunately, experience has shown that writing large systems is virtually impossible. Small programs seem to be no problem at all, but scaling to large systems with large programming teams can result in 100 million projects that never work and are thrown out. The only solution seems to be writing small software units that communicate via well-defined interfaces and protocols like computer chips. The units must be small enough that one developer can understand them entirely, and perhaps most importantly, the units must be protected from interference by other units so that programmers can code the units in isolation. The object-oriented paradigm fits these guidelines as designers represent complete concepts or real-world entities as objects with approved interfaces for use by other objects. Like the outer membranes of a biological cell, the interface hides the internal implementation of the object. Thus, isolating the code from interference by other objects. For many tasks, object-oriented programming has proven to be very successful paradigm. Interestingly, the first object-oriented language was Smalltalk, which has been more features than C++. But object-oriented programming has come into fashion in 1990s. Now let us define the learning objective of the session. First, we will understand the concept of procedure-oriented programming. Then, we will learn the need of object-oriented methodology. Then, we will learn the advantages of object-oriented methodology, study about object-oriented programming, understand the basic concept of object-oriented programming, learn the benefits of object-oriented programming, get familiar with application of object-oriented programming. The first programming approach was the procedure-oriented programming. Procedure programming uses a list of instructions to tell the computer what to do step by step. Procedure programming relies on you suggested it as procedures, which are also known as routines or subroutines. A procedure contains a series of computational steps to be carried out. Procedure programming is also referred to as imperative programming. Procedural programming languages are also known as top-down languages. Procedural programming is intuitive in the sense that it is very similar to how you would expect a program to work. If you want a computer to do something, you should provide step-by-step instructions on how to do it. It is therefore no surprise that most of the early programming languages are all procedural. Examples of procedural languages include Fortran, COBOL and C, which have been around since 1960s and 70s. In the procedure-oriented approach, the problem is viewed as a sequence of things to be done, such as reading, calculating and printing. A number of functions are written to accomplish this task. Procedure-oriented programming basically consists of writing a list of instructions for the computer to follow, and organizing these instructions into groups are known as functions. The main features of procedure-oriented programming are: in procedure-oriented programming, the application programs are organized, designed and written around the procedures, making the structure programming procedure centric. More emphasis is laid on procedures or algorithms rather than data. Procedure-oriented program supports modular programs, that is, a larger program performing a task is divided into number of modules called as procedures or functions. In procedure-oriented programming, data is not secure as it is freely moved from one function to another. In procedure-oriented programming, the more emphasis is given on procedures or functions. In this particular diagram, you can see a flowchart is given where there is a global data and three user defined functions. These three user defined functions will have their local data, plus they can have a direct access to the global data. Now, this global data can be accessed by any user defined functions, which is dangerous into the programming language. Any function which will modify that particular data will be reflected in a global data. This is a major drawback of procedure oriented programming, where your global data is accessing and it is flowing freely into the program. Compilers implementing procedure oriented programming do not prevent unauthorized functions from accessing or manipulating variables in a program. Procedure oriented programming is difficult to design, maintain and enhance the software. Procedure oriented program employs top down programming style. Some of the languages which support procedure oriented programming are C, Pascal, etc. In late 1980s, we saw a major paradigm shift in the computing industry toward object oriented programming. The reason behind the surge is popularity of its paradigm is Relevance to organizing the design and construction of large software systems, its ability to support user defined data abstractions, and the ability to provide a facility for reuse of program code. These are aside from the fact that many of the entities that have to be dealt with in a computer system are naturally modeled as objects. Example of objects are the images and windows that appear on the screen of a typical personal computer or workstation environment. These have the characteristics that have maintained their own state of information. They can be created dynamically by the program, or they need to interact with other objects as a manner of course. We will start with the concept of object oriented methodology. The objects exist in nature, in man-made entities, in business, and in the products that we use. They can be categorized, described, organized, combined, manipulated, and created. Therefore, an object oriented view has came into picture for creation of computer software. An object oriented approach to the development of software was proposed in late 1960s. The object oriented development requires that object oriented techniques to be used during the analysis and implementation of the system. This methodology asks the analyst to determine what the objects of the system are, how they behave over time or in response to the events, and what responsibilities and relationships an object has with other objects. Object oriented analysis has the analyst look at all the objects in a system, their commonalities, differences, and how the system needs to manipulate the objects. Next is the object oriented process. The object oriented methodology of building systems takes the objects as the basis. For this, first the system to be developed is observed and analyzed, and the requirements are defined as in any other method of system development. Once this is done, the objects in the required system are identified. For example, in case of a banking system, a customer is an object, a checkbook is an object, and even an account is an object. In simple terms, object modeling is based on identifying the objects in a system and their interrelationships. Once this is done, the coding of the system is done. Object modeling is somewhat similar to the traditional approach of system designing, in that it also follows a sequential process of system designing, but with a different approach. The basic steps of system designing using object modeling are system analysis, system design, object design, and implementation. The system design is the next development stage where the overall architecture of the desired system is decided. The system is organized as a set of subsystems interacting with each other. While designing the system as a set of interacting subsystems, the analyst takes care of specifications as observed in system analysis, as well as what is required out of the new system by the end user. As the basic philosophy of object oriented method of system analysis is to perceive the system as a set of interacting objects. A bigger system may also be seen as a set of interacting smaller subsystems that in turn are composed of a set of interacting objects. While designing the system, the stress lies on the object comprising the system and not on the processes being carried out in the system, as in the case of traditional waterfall model, where the processes form the important part of the system. In the object design phase, the details of the system analysis and system design are implemented. The object identified in the system design phase are designed. Here the implementation of these objects is decided as the data structures get defined, and also the interrelationships between the objects are defined. The object oriented philosophy is very much similar to the real world, and hence it is gaining popularity as the systems are seen as a set of interacting objects as in the real world. To implement this concept, the process-based structural programming is not used. Instead, objects are created using data structures. Just as every programming language provides various data types and various variables of that type can be created, similarly in case of objects, certain data types are predefined. In the implementation phase, the class objects and the interrelationships of these classes are translated and actually coded using the programming language decided upon. The databases are made and the complete system is given a functional shape. The complete object oriented methodology revolves around the objects identified in the system. When observed closely, every object exhibits some characteristics and behavior. The objects recognize and respond to certain events. For example, if a window is considered on the screen as an object, the size of the window gets changed when the resize button of the window is clicked. The clicking of the button is an event to which the window responds by changing its state from old size to the new size. While developing system based on this particular approach, the analyst makes use of certain models to analyze and depict these objects. The methodology supports and uses three basic models. They are object model, dynamic model and functional model. Object model. This model describes the objects in a system and their interrelationships. This model observes all the objects as static and does not pay any attention to their dynamic nature. Dynamic model. This model depicts the dynamic aspects of the system. It portrays the changes occurring in the states of various objects with the events that might occur in the system. Functional model. This model basically describes the data transformations of the system. This describes the flow of data and the changes that occur to the data throughout the system. The object model is most important of all as it describes the basic element of the system. The objects of all the three models together describe the complete functional system. As compared to the conventional system development techniques, object-oriented modeling provides many benefits. Some of the benefits using object orientation are reusability. The classes once defined can easily be used by other applications. This is achieved by defining classes and putting them into a library of classes where all the classes are maintained for future use. Whenever a new class is needed, the programmer looks into the library of classes and if it is available, it can be picked up directly from there. Inheritance. The concept of inheritance helps the programmer use the existing code in another way, where making small additions to the existing classes can quickly create new classes. Programmer has to spend less time and effort and can concentrate on other aspects of the system due to the reusability feature of the methodology. Data hiding. Encapsulation is a technique that allows the programmer to hide the internal functioning of the object from the users of the objects. Encapsulation separates the internal functioning of the object from the external functioning, thus providing the user flexibility to change the external behavior of the object, making the programmer code safe against the changes made by the user. The system designed using this approach is closer to the real world as the real world functioning of the system is directly mapped into the system designed using this approach. Now, let us see some of the advantages of object oriented methodology. Object oriented methodology closely represents the problem domain. Because of this, it is easier to produce and understand designs. The objects in the system are immune to required changes, therefore allow changes more easily. Object oriented methodology designs encourage more reuse. New applications can use the existing modules, thereby reduces the development cost and cycle time. Object-oriented methodology approach is more natural. It provides nice structures for thinking and abstracting and leads to modular designs. The next approach is the object-oriented programming. The major objective of object-oriented approach is to remove some of the flaws encountered in procedural approach. Object-oriented programming treats data as a critical element in the program development and does not allow it to flow freely around the system. It ties data more closely to the functions that operate on it and protects it from accidental modification from outside functions. Object-oriented programming allows decomposition of a problem into a number of entities called objects and then builds data and functions around these objects. Object-oriented programming is a style of programming that focuses on objects to design and build applications. Think of an object as a model of the concepts, processes or things in the real world that are meaningful to your application. For example, in a project management application, you would have a status object, a cost object and a client object among others. These objects would work together to provide the functionality that you want your project management application to have. Object-oriented programming is used to develop many applications, simple and complex applications, business applications and games, mobile and desktop applications. Developers choose to program in the object-oriented paradigm because the proper use of objects makes it easier to build, maintain and upgrade the application. Also, developing an application with objects that have been tested increases the reliability of the application. The main features of object-oriented programming are as follows. In object-oriented programming, the application programs are organized, designed and written around the data, making the object-oriented programming data-centric. More emphasis is laid on data rather than on procedures or algorithms. A module in object-oriented programming paradigm is made to be a collection of classes and objects rather than dividing entire program into many subprograms or functions. The data of object can be accessed only by the functions associated with that object. However, functions of one object can access the functions of other objects. Compilers implementing object-oriented programming does not allow unauthorized functions to access the data, thus enabling data security. Only the associated functions can operate on the data and there is no change of bugs creeping into the program. Object-oriented programming is easy to design, maintain and enhance the software. The main advantage of object-oriented programming is its capability to model real-world problems. Object-oriented approach follows bottom-up approach in program design. Some of the language which supports object-oriented programming are Smalltalk, C++, Java, etc. The object-oriented programming as an approach that provides a way of modularizing programs by creating partition memory area for both data and functions that can be used as templates for creating copies of such modules on demand. The object is considered to be a partition area of computer memory that stores data and set of operations that can access that data. Since memory partitions are independent, the objects can be used in variety of different programs without modifications. The important concepts of object-oriented programming are objects, classes, data abstraction, data encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding and message passing. Objects are the basic runtime entities in an object-oriented design. They may represent a person, a place, a bank account, a table of data or any atom that the program may handle. They may also represent user-defined data types such as vectors and lists. Programming problem is analyzed in terms of objects and the nature of communication between them. Program objects should be chosen such that they match closely with the real world objects. Objects take up space in the memory. When the program is executed, the objects interact by sending messages to one another. Each object contains data and code to manipulate the data. Objects can interact without having to know the details of each other's data or code. It is sufficient to know the type of message accepted and the type of response returned by the objects. Examples are telephone, book, watch, lock, television. The two different representations of an object can be represented in the figure as follows. In the figure, object student is shown with its data and information. We can use any one of the representation. The objects contains data and code to manipulate their data. The entire set of data and code of an object can be made user-defined data type with the help of a class. Objects are variables of the type class. One class has been defined. It is possible to create any number of objects belonging to that particular class. Each object is associated with the data of type class with which they are created. A class is a collection of objects of similar type. Classes are user-defined data types and behave like the built-in data types of a programming language. The syntax used to create an object is no different than the syntax used to create an integer object in C. A class may be thought of as a data type and an object as a variable of that particular data type. For example, mango, apple and oranges are members of the class fruit. The second example can be a car class with the properties company, model and color and the actions speed, average and brake. Now we will see the basic features of object-oriented programming. The first is data abstraction. It refers to the act of representing essential features without including the background details or explanations. Classes use the concept of abstraction and are defined as a list of abstract attributes such as size, weight and cost and functions to operate on these attributes. It is possible to encapsulate all the essential properties of the objects that are to be created. Attributes are sometimes called data members since they hold information. Functions operate on this data are called methods or member functions. Since class use the concept of data abstraction, they are known as abstract data types. Example are computer as a single unit, whereas internally it will have different parts such as hard disk, arithmetic and logical unit and CPU. The next is data encapsulation. The wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit is known as encapsulation. It is most striking feature of a class. Data is not accessible to outside world and only those functions which are wrapped in the class can access it. These functions provide an interface between the object's data and the program. Next is inheritance. It is a process by which objects of one class acquire the properties of objects of another class. In object-oriented programming, the inheritance represents the reusability of information. It is possible to add additional features to an existing class without modifying it and achieve by deriving a new class from the existing one, where new class have the combined features of both the classes. Each subclass defines only those features that are unique to it. Without the use of classification, each class would have to explicitly include all its features. Inheritance supports the concept of hierarchical classification. In the example, the bird robin is a part of a class flying bird, which is again a part of the class bird. The principle behind this sort of division is that each derived class shares common characteristics with which it is derived. Polymorphism is another important object-oriented programming concept. Polymorphism means the ability to take more than one form. The behavior depends upon the types of data used in the operation. areas of programming where the polymorphism can be used are operator overloading, function overloading. Polymorphism plays an important role in allowing objects having different internal structures to share the same external interface. A general class of operations may be accessed in the same manner even though specific actions associated with each operation may differ. This concept is extensively used in implementing interface. Here the example is shown where draw is the member function which is same in triangle, rectangle and a circle. At runtime, depending on the object type, it will draw either a circle, triangle or rectangle. Dynamic binding is the next feature. The binding refers to the linking of procedure call to the code to be executed in response to the call. Dynamic binding means that the code associated with a given procedure call is not known until the time of the call at runtime. The next is a message communication. An object-oriented program consists of a set of objects that communicate with each other. The process of programming in an object-oriented language involves the following basic steps: creating classes that define the objects and their behavior, creating objects from the class definitions, establishing communication among the objects. The objects communicate with one another by sending and receiving information much the same way as people pass messages to one another. Message passing involves specifying the name of the object, the name of the method and the information to be sent. Example: employee.salary in bracket name. In the above example, the employee is the object, salary is a message and name is a parameter that contains the information. Object-oriented programming offers several benefits to both the program designer and the user. So, let us see the benefits of object-oriented programming. Through inheritance, it is possible to eliminate redundant code and extend the user of existing classes. It is possible to build programs from the standard working modules that communicate with one another rather than having to start writing the code from the scratch. This leads to saving of development time and higher productivity. The principle of data hiding helps the programmer to build secure programs that cannot be invaded by the code in other parts of the program. Message passing technique for communication between objects make the interface descriptions with external systems much simpler. Software complexity can easily be managed. It is possible to have multiple instances of objects to coexist without any interference. It is a style of programming that primarily supports encapsulation and object identity. Major features that are required for object-based programming are data encapsulation, data hiding and access mechanisms, automatic initialization and clear up of objects, operator overloading. Languages that support programming with objects are said to be object-based programming languages. They do not support inheritance and dynamic binding. Ada is a typical object-based programming language. Object-oriented programming incorporates all the object-based programming features along with two additional features, namely inheritance and dynamic binding. Object-oriented programming can therefore be characterized by the following statement: object-based features plus inheritance plus dynamic binding. Object-oriented programming are beginning to gain importance in many areas. The most popular applications of object-oriented programming has been in the area of user interface design such as Windows. Object-oriented programming is useful in these types of applications because it can simplify a complex problem. Missing areas where object-oriented programming can be used are object-oriented databases, decision support and office automation systems, real-time systems, simulation and modeling, artificial intelligence and expert systems, neural networks and parallel programming, CAD/CAM systems. The richness of object-oriented programming environment will enable the software industry to improve not only the quality of software systems but also its productivity. Object-oriented technology is certainly going to change the way the software engineers think, analyze, design and implement future systems. Now, let us summarize the points which I have covered in this particular module. The object-oriented development requires that object-oriented techniques to be used during the analysis and the implementation of the system. Basic steps of system designing using object modeling are system analysis, system design, object design and implementation. Three models of object-oriented methodology are object model, dynamic model and functional model. Benefits using object orientation are reusability, inheritance, data handling, encapsulation, etc. Procedure oriented program supports modular programs. In an object oriented programming, data is tied more closely to the functions. Entire set of data and code of an object can be made user defined data type with the help of a class.